Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Unsung Heroes, where we get musicians to tell their story because they've all got one to tell. And today's guest is no exception. Somebody who I've known for a long time and has been a professional performer, songwriter, guitar player and wonderful singer for many years. But we won't go into that because as we know, that's not a good idea to talk about. But all joking aside, she's an experienced lady with a wonderful talent. Will you please welcome my guest today, Val Cowell. Val, how the devil are you?
All right, great,
Good
Paul.
to see you. Good to see you. Now, I know you were born in LA, Val.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and I know your parents flitted from London to Los Angeles over the years. So, when you were in Los Angeles in those early days, I noticed you had, was it two brothers?
Yes, yeah.
And one of those brothers taught you how to play the guitar.
That's right.
When did you, I mean, what would have been influences in those days, and where do you think you developed the voice? Where did that come from? Sort of.
Well, my brother Anthony taught me when I was 9, and all my siblings and my sister as well were really into music. My sister was the Crosby, Stills, Nash, Joni Mitchell part, and then my brother Dave was more into like prog rock.
Right.
And then my brother Anthony, the boys were into the blues and Deep Purple and things like that. So I was absorbing all this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we lived out there when Led Zeppelin 1 came out. So,
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
In California, because
Yeah.
they were in America a lot more
Absolutely,
at the time.
yeah. Well, that was a pivotal album for them, and a pivotal time that turned on so many people to that, to the progression of the blues and the style of it that probably introduced more people to check out the original blues rather than from hearing it through Zeppelin than it would have been if they'd have turned on originally to the guys that inspired them, you know. But so they did them a favour in a way. And so that sounds like a wonderful musical environment to have been born in.
It really
to have that being soaked up. Your parents, what was their background? Was there any musical influence from them at all historically in any way?
Not really with Dad, but my mum was like an amateur operatic singer,
Oh,
and
wonderful,
she used to
yeah.
go into competitions.
Yeah, yeah.
But her voice was as high as mine is low.
I got you.
So,
Yeah.
But my parents were very encouraging. They let my brother's band, which rehearsed relentlessly, rehearse in the front room and all that kind of thing. They were very supportive of our careers.
Oh, that's good because
Yeah.
you know I've come across that quite a bit actually. That most of the people I've interviewed have been lucky enough to have parents who've either been musically inclined themselves or extremely supportive, and it is so important.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't really say that I had much of that when I was younger, but I know how important it has been to so many people. When you moved from LA, you moved at 7. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, 2 for the first time. I mean, they kept hopping back and forth.
What was the reason for that then?
My dad preferred it there, and my mum preferred it here.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
Were they both from England originally, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Fulham
Right.
and
Yeah.
South London.
So, when you were, so you've got an American passport still. When you came over here, did you feel like you were an American living in England? Is that how you felt? Did that ever go away? I mean, do you feel different now?
Oh, yeah. I was English when I was in America. Being the youngest of 4, it affected me least going back and forth.
Right.
I think it's more difficult for my brothers, and my sister always felt American, but I enjoyed the attention, actually, of being the English girl or the American girl.
Gotcha. It's always nice to be the one who's got something different to offer people, isn't it? Yeah, in that respect. So when you moved to London, which part of London were you living in at the time?
Well, Putney.
Okay, so
Yeah.
nice part of the West London there. And what sort of, at school, did you get involved in music then? Because when you started schooling, so was that choirs or in a school bands and stuff? Was that?
No, I just was always the girl that played the guitar.
Right.
And I used to do concerts and stuff, and I was just always playing the guitar. And
brilliant.
Yeah, I've always been known as that my life.
Well, yeah, don't we just know it? But but the thing is, what I wondered about was the development from such an early age, because you were playing guitar before you were 10. Is that right?
Yeah. So what happened was my brother kind of he'd been in all different bands, and he formed a band called Avenue, and we had this band together. I was 15. I was still at school, and I was semi-pro, And the first gig we did, all my friends came and we all couldn't stop laughing. We were cracking up, you know, it must have been a right pain. And so, but we gigged, and that's how I learned my craft. And then gigging all the time.
But that you made quite a lot of, or did quite a lot of work with that little outfit, didn't you? I mean, did you say you did 3 European tours?
Well, we did all
3 albums.
Many more than that. 3 albums. Yeah, we just toured constantly. My brother was a slave driver because he had 4 children.
Oh, I see.
And I was single. Yeah, no, but no, we had a great time. We toured, and it was absolutely amazing. But by the time I met Richard, I sort of had enough. I wanted to stay around Britain.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But that period of time that you were with your brother in Avenue.
Yeah.
What sort of bills were you on? Was there any? Were there people that you sort of opened for or worked with that were of any note?
That's a good question. No, we mainly were playing in our own right. And we did some pretty big festivals.
Oh, that's good.
Luxembourg, I remember a huge festival in Luxembourg. And we did a lot in Brussels and Germany, loads in Germany.
Yeah.
Just all the music venues.
Sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's good grounding, and it's nice, you know. Now, just as a little offshoot, I'm very aware that you do a lot of session work and have done a lot of session work over the years. Now, this is a little story I've thrown past you before that you swear blind you don't remember, but I do.
Go on.
When I came down here in '81, I signed with a band called The Giants. We got a little deal with Magnet Records, and our first proper single was a song called All People Go Mad, which I still do to this day, as I've mentioned before, written by Gordon Reaney and Tony Lyons. And it was produced by the drummer and bass player from Mott the Hoople, Overham Watts and Dale Griffin, Buffin, as he was known to his contemporaries. And they produced it at Tooting Music Centre. Now, Gordon was married to a lady called Margot Buchanan at the time, which I'm sure you know Margot.
Yeah.
She's gone on to do very well for herself and married into the right circles.
Oh, yeah.
She goes to more Paul McCartney gigs than Paul McCartney. That's another story. Now, she says to me that you were the other singer on the session for that song.
Oh.
And she sang back in vocals. She said, I've got Val down to do it.
Oh, okay.
We never met you on that. You just did the session.
Okay.
When it was, all people go mad when they fall in love, when they fall in love. That was the song.
Ah, okay.
And she says it was you singing with her.
Oh, well, what do you know?
I mean, you know, you don't remember it, do you?
No, I don't remember it. But there were quite
must have made such an impression.
No, not at all.
This was
1980.
This was 1982. So you'd have still probably been with. Would you have been with Avenue?
Avenue, yeah.
Still going there.
Still with Ant, and I got all different things. Actually, all sorts of sessions I've probably forgotten about. I did a great version of "Do You Think I'm Sexy" down in with Andy Giras, was a fantastic Scottish. I know
Andy really well. Yeah, absolutely.
And he was into recording, and I did a great version. I really enjoyed that in a studio down in Tooting, and loads of stuff. Yeah, and
Brilliant.
Friends. All my friends asked me to sing BVs, which is nice.
When your sessions and Avenue were going, and then you decided, as you mentioned earlier, that you wanted to get a bit more settled. Was the idea of putting your own band together something you'd all, by that time, was really growing strong inside you?
Yes, because we were sort of 2 front people. My brother sang as well. I mean, he wrote all the songs.
Sure.
And so, it was sort of time for me to branch out on my own. And I'd met Richard Hayes down in Carshalton and Rob Davis and all that crowd from Mud and Ellie Hope and Ray Knott, who was our original bass player. And they'd been in Babe Ruth. And right when I met Rich, and I absolutely loved his playing, they'd nabbed him because they had Liquid Gold. And so they'd nabbed Richard to go off gigging with them. But I waited for him to be free from all the tours because, we had a real synergy.
Yeah. Well, that's evident and quite apparent to anybody that's seen you both over the years. But it's interesting you mentioned that little Carshalton connection because I was involved on the periphery of that as well. Because I sat in on a couple of those with Rob, and I did sessions for him too.
Okay.
And my first demos of that song we just mentioned were at his house. Mm-hmm. As you know, he used to own and live next door to Ray Stiles.
That's right.
And they knocked the garage together to make a studio. Mm-hmm. And that's where we did our first demos.
Yeah.
And I used to hang out, because I lived in Morden at the time, in the summer of '81 into the autumn that year. So I'd go down there to sort of find my feet, find out there was a little gig in Carshalton. I can't remember what it was called. What was the name of the pub? Can you remember?
In Morden?
No, the one in Carshalton they used to do the jam.
Oh, it was the Cricketers.
That's right.
The Cricketers in Carshalton.
The Cricketers.
Yeah.
I used to do gigs in there. I did gigs there for about 5 years on and off over that period.
Yeah.
I remember it well. We and
it was a hub.
It was
of
the
musicians.
whole of, It was because the whole of Mud, apart from the lead singer, used to come in there.
Yeah.
And in fact, you might remember the drummer from Mud. Who was a very funny man, lovely guy. Dave Mount, wasn't it? Dave Mount. That's right.
Yeah.
Sadly, we know he decided to take his own life. A very sad story, but I remember him coming up to us on one of those gigs, and he'd just got a job as an A&R man at Decca. He said, "I'm going to sign you guys," and then the saddest, that's very sad, but a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
And it just highlights what a small world it is in terms of the musical community that we have grown up with. I've come from a long way away to do this. I've come all the way down from the West Midlands to sort of seek my fame and fortune, and 40 years later, we're still knowing each other, even though we didn't know each other then.
Yeah.
But our paths were crossing inadvertently.
That's right.
Amazingly small world.
Yes.
So you get Richard. You say, "I want to get this band together." Who came up with the name? Bad Influence.
Well, just leading up to that, I had Rob Davis in my band. I had Andy Girris, but I had the Valerie Lee band because that's my middle name.
Right.
Sounds so corny now, but yeah, I was trying all these different players I had with me, and Rob and I did many duos together, so we go back a long way. But anyway, we got to Rich, yeah. And
I bet you can't get him out of your head, can you? Good pun there, yes. I'll tell you that one later.
Could you?
Absolutely.
And Richard's sister said to us, "My God, we're trying to think of a band name." She said, "She was such a bad influence on me." And we both went, "Bad influence." But there happened to be the Robert Cray album at the time.
And I thought to myself, there's two schools of thought there. And I thought, that must be where they got the name of the band from. For years I thought that, but obviously not. But coincidence is palpable, of course.
Yeah.
So, did you get a management? Because I noticed in your bio you mentioned some serious players in terms of management people that looked after you for many years.
Yeah.
And I know what that's like. Did that happen straight away, or did that take a little while? I mean, did you do demos? Did you just rehearse? How did it start to get the ball rolling?
We did demos and we rehearsed a lot. We had Chris Charlie on drums and Ray Knott on bass, and we just constantly gigged and got really, really tight and rehearsed. And we made cassettes, and sold them on the gigs. So, and then of course, the industry. Those boys were 10 years older than us, and we're gigging round and round and round. Started doing the marquee gigs and stuff, and then all the management people in the biz were telling us to get a young rhythm section in, and we kind of resisted for a long time. I had lunch with Ellie and Ray yesterday, actually, and we were talking about this because I just watched this Billy Joel documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's really interesting, and he George Martin, he was looking for a producer. Even George Martin said to him, "Get rid of your band." Well, these were his boys from New York, and so this is what you have all the time. And everybody was saying, "Get a younger rhythm section." Anyway, ultimately we did buckle and we got younger guys in, but it kind of ruined Bad Influence in a way back then. Because we were seeing all the record companies, because that was our sound and that was our following.
Exactly, yeah.
From all the gigging we'd done, and we were selling out the marquee.
Brilliant.
Well,
that's a wonderful marker. Right?
Yeah.
You say to a band, say to a record company, we sold out the marquee at this level with no record company.
That's right.
We've done this purely through hard work.
Yeah, and what do? They want to change you.
And then they suddenly they see what's successful and go, right, we're going to change that.
Yeah.
And I had that all the time, and I know how that feels. And
it's horrible now because luckily we're still friends. And I said to them yesterday, that was the big thing. And after seeing this happening to Billy Joel, who incidentally turned down George Martin, said, "No, I'm sticking with my guys," because it took him a long time to find that team.
Absolutely, and it's that understanding. It's a subliminal thing. I've stuck with the same people for forever, pretty much. Not completely, but they're pretty much the core of the same,
Me too, now, yeah.
And what you find is that there's certain things you can do on a gig, you know, that just at the heat of the moment, and you'll go off on a tangent or you'll shout a tune up, and you just know they're going to be able to follow you, even if they're not totally sure of it. They're going to follow you and do it, and by the end of the number, you've got a new song in your set, and you need to carry on playing it, you know, which I've done on numerous occasions, and I'm sure you've done more times than you've had hot dinners, because you've got that understanding with people. Now, and the other thing is, there's a self-belief amongst a group that you don't get when you're hiring people in all the time who are just thinking, this is another gig and I'm getting paid, and I'm going to, which happened to us when I got another deal a few years after the one I mentioned earlier on with big management, and they put a top band around, Pino Palladino on bass and Chris Wilkinson on drums and Damon Butcher on keyboards. These guys were getting paid £1,000 a week to sit in with us doing support gigs, and we did the cartoon, and they were still getting £1,000 a week or whatever it was they were getting, and me and Gordon were getting nothing, you know. And I thought, this ain't right, you know, this don't feel right. And so when they do that, it is annoying, you know. And I suppose they're looking at the bigger picture because they've seen success, and they said this is how the big people want you to be. But it's kind of denying who you are, and the very reason they're signing you up is because of who you are.
That sound and the songwriting team. When we signed to Bud Prager from Foreigner, he came to see us. And he was a really big deal. And he had Giant as well. And we went to meet him in the Mayfair Hotel in London. He was lying on the bed. And the four of us sat at the end of his bed, and he was saying, I'm going to make you big stars, and England is this big in the scheme of things, which was a ridiculous thing to say. Because look at all the music that comes out of Great Britain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then so we wrote new demos, and I was going to LA anyway to see my sister, and I sent him the new demos, and they said they wanted to sack Richard from me and just wanted me, and so I said no.
I know. I mean, the thing is that they're kind of almost encouraging you to be completely ruthless, and self-centered, you know. And of course, as we know only too well, a lot of people are like that, you know. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah, because I want to be famous, you know. And all integrity goes out the window. I mean, in some cases, as we know, it's worked. But I think sticking to your guns, one, it's better morally, and for your own sanity, it's better. And you've got people around you trust and you can work with. Yeah. Rather than suddenly thinking, I'm on my own, oh dear, I'm completely open to manipulation here. I don't know anybody, you know, and that happened to me a couple of times. I got offered things as a member of a band, and I got offered things on my own, and I thought, you know, I don't like that. Not in front of everybody. I've got to tell all these guys, no, it ain't happening. And sometimes, you know, you might think, oh, I've missed the opportunity, but you feel a better person for it afterwards, I think, you know. From 86, you started working with Bad Influence. Yeah. You've got this guy's managing you from, well, I say managing you. Did he, this guy from Foreigner, did he look after you for long? Did he get involved much or not?
What didn't happen very long at all. In fact, we spent more time on, you know, signing the contracts and, you know, all of that. And so the best thing that happened was we met the Thunder management. We had Harry James on drums and Chris Charles from Thunder, and you know, we had a great band, and it was very productive all of the time. So and that was a few years, but it, you know, the record company said so many things. You know, they'd say, get rid of the guitar. I go, I can do that, you know, if you just want me to front the band. But there were so many things, and we just never quite you know, cracked it. We were you know, I know. It's finding that place where, like you mentioned the Billy Joel thing, it's finding that place where you go, well, you know, do I want to be manipulated to the point where I've lost who I am? You know, I'm happy to take advice. I understand they know the business better than I do, but at the same time, they're not the ones making the music. It's me. I've got to make this music, and I want to make it with people I feel I can relate to, you know. But we really tried. You could go round to the record companies and literally knock on the door back then, and you'd go round and you'd see them, and somebody would be sitting with his feet on the desk, one of the biggest guys in music now, you know, saying, I'm the key master, I've got the key. And we're going, okay then, you know, what's going to happen? And ridiculous things happened. But all the time, for the love of music, we just kept gigging, And that's it. We just kept on, and then I was dying to get Pete Stroud on bass. You know, he was away with Peter Green, and he was never free, and I was always asking him to depth. And then one day he said, "Val, I've just lost the whole world tour. I'm free." And so we got Pete Stroud in, you know, and we used Pete Stroud Welsh on drums,
Of course,
you know, and there's a younger guy, Johnny Brister, who comes in and out. So really happy with what we've got.
How settled was the lineup leading up to that, though? Because, you know, there's the whole of the 90s going on here. I mean, you had Chris Charlie and you had Reynolds.
Yeah.
So how long were those guys in the band for before you had to have some, before you were...
Probably 86 to about... Someone will correct me on this. Richard remembers all these things. So probably till about 91.
Okay.
86 to 91.
Right. So from there on in, were you using different people all the time then, or did you have... So it was a fairly fluid sort of rhythm section, not because you wanted it that way, it's just the way it was.
We had... They got Andy Wells in, we had him on drums, we had Malcolm Foster, who went to do Simple Minds.
Yeah.
We had all these players, Chris Taylor, who was with Spiritualized, and all these really great players, great guys, but it just nothing that settled. Everyone was travelling around.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, as we know only too well, unless you're in a big band that can afford to pay a retainer and say, you know, we're in your band. When we're not working, it's fine. But if we call you up and you've got some gigs with them, you're going to have to blow them out because we want you. You can't do that. You know, I mean, I know that only too well. I mean, the same thing happens here. You know, particularly during the 90s, the drummer seat, which had one guy that was supposedly permanent, but he was always getting offered other work. And arguably, it wasn't just one gig, it was a lot. So he couldn't just blow out that gig, it was all or nothing. So you'd have to get depths in. And you end up using 3 or 4 different drummers.
Oh, yeah.
And it loses that feeling of... Because when you've got, as you know, when you've got people you can trust, you turn around and you just go, yeah, he knows this, I don't need to worry. Like Harry, for instance. And he just go, yeah, no problem. But if you've got another guy and he says, oh, how's that one going? Or something, you know what I mean? And because you're relying on them just to be able to read your mind. And when that's not happening, it's extra work, it's harder work, and the feel's not quite the same. However good they might be. Yeah. And I'm sure they were excellent.
Yeah, no, everybody.
And it's that thing, well, who've we got on blooming drums and bass tonight? And it's like, must have been a nightmare. Now, how did you get to know George? How did that come about? Because your paths have been intertwined for a long time musically, haven't they? Various escapades, you know, over the years.
I was a fan first. I mean, I saw him in Abortion Tears, which was really early days when he was playing with Steve Simpson. And we all used to play at the Southampton in Surbiton.
Yeah, I know
so we all had our own nights there. And that's where sort of everybody was, the Kingston scene. And I was a fan. I got to know him. Then he asked me to sing on his album, one of his first albums. And then it just has continued from there, really. And I've always gone to see him. And of course, Pete Stroud bass was in that band. And, and we actually mix players as well. And we can do a gig together, and we all know each other's stuff now. And latterly, I've sung with my daughter, Jess Hayes, on his album, which has been a joy, you know, for us to do that. So,
well, I was going to get round to talking about Jess because obviously she's the one that people know about as a singer, but you've got
a son. I've got a son as well. Yeah, Jake. Yeah.
Is he involved in music as well?
He's not actually. He's in the film business, but he does all the sets for films. Yeah, he's working on Narnia at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, you must be very proud to have such talented offspring. It's not surprising, considering where you both come from musically, so that it's going to run through the DNA. You know, that's fairly obvious. I mean, I'm not talking about Jess, she can do her own Unsung Heroes one day, but I'm mentioning it purely from the point of view that, you know, she's your daughter. And when did she first sort of decide to take up the mantle? And was there ever a time where she might have thought, I'm competing with my mom? Did that ever crop up at any, you know, because it does happen.
We never feel like that, but poor thing, all she's ever had to put up with is, you're really coming on well, but you're not as good as your mum.
Oh.
But also, people say to me, well, she's, better than you, kind of thing. But
why do people do that?
They feel the need to do that.
I know, it's a very odd thing,
They can't be a parent, I tell you that, because... But no, we just laugh at it. It's not a problem at all.
That's the best way to deal with it, really.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, most people will have seen it. That thing you did on The Voice with her, for instance.
Yes.
That was I auditioned for that and didn't get even through past the first round.
Right, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, and because what I remember of it is that it was when it was on the BBC, so it was early on.
Oh.
And they put 5 or 6 people in a room, and then have these BBC people come in, and you all get to sing a little bit, and then they say, thanks but no thanks. And there was a couple that I thought, I don't usually blow my own trumpet, and I would say the same for anybody else. I think, I'm sorry, they're not. Oh, excuse me, they're not even in the same league. Why on earth are you get?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, people. I've got a frog in my throat.
Hear you.
The bottom line is, though, they're making a television program. There's a big difference. It's got the banner of being a talent show, but it's a television program. So there's always going to be an element, as we know with the X Factor when that was in its peak, is then they've got to put a certain amount of minor talent, shall we say, to be polite, through, because otherwise they've got nothing for people to watch. So did you see that awful singer on there?
Yeah.
Because that's the way producers work. So I was really pleased when I thought, at last they've finally got somebody on there who knows what's going on. How long was that whole thing, did it take? Was it just a day, or did that go on for some time?
Well, she auditioned out of 80,000. She was doing it in a room. She didn't tell me, and she was doing Zoom auditions and singing, and they go through the mental thing of it. And she got down from 80,000, I'm not kidding, to get on this day.
That's brilliant.
So we all went up to Manchester, and it was a 12-hour day of hanging around and interviews and stuff, so they knew I was a singer. But getting me up on stage was a total surprise.
Right.
And they called me up to sing, and were saying it was in the DNA and all of this. And when I turned around to the band and said, it's in C, all the panel went, oh, she knows the key, because evidently people don't know even what a key is.
That's true. Yeah. Did they even know you were a singer though?
Oh, they knew I was a singer.
But the panel didn't know.
No, the panel didn't until the end, and they said, who are your influences? She said, my mum. And they called me up, and this microphone out of these really bright lights came out, and I just thought, right, give me that. So up I went, and we did a rendition of Tennessee Whiskey, and then all the things that they said to me and about Jess all went out the window because she got put out the next round. So they said she was one of the best they'd ever had, and Tom Jones was saying, I'd like you to do... it was really crazy.
Yeah. But
it was a TV show, purely.
Yeah. That's very true, because I don't know about you, but I don't think I know anybody that's won that's never done anything since.
Yeah.
It's they're successful for the length of time they're on the show.
Yeah.
Which is still nice to have, let's be honest. And I'm sure it's helped Jess in terms of her profile a little bit. Because that's a clip you can show to promoters and stuff, I guess. I wouldn't know, but... I mean, I know she's touring with Frankie Connolly at the moment. She's been doing a lot of festivals in Europe, and it's great,
Yeah.
But is there ever a time when she wants to do her own thing again, like it's just her,
She does stuff all the time. She's just a Masterlink session, which is a really big thing. And that's coming out soon.
Brilliant.
She does loads on. In fact, she did sessions for Rob Davis as well.
Oh.
So...
There you go.
There we go.
As I always mention in this particular part of the show, that we have a thing called the name drop bin, as I've mentioned to you before. And every week I try to get people to sort of mention as many people. And Paul Long, who I did an interview with the other week, suggested I get a little ka-ching button. And on his show, it would have been, that's all you would have heard. But we've had quite a few here already today. And now, I wanted to bring up a couple of bands that you've had the pleasure of... performing with, should we say? Over the years, one of which, of course, was Status Quo.
Yeah.
And you did a few dates with them, didn't you?
Yeah, Richard had been a massive fan. We got this gig in Swansea, and he said they won't see us because we did a 5 o'clock slot, And there was one more band and then Quo. And I went to Rich and went up to him, I'm nudging him, we're on stage playing away. And the whole band was standing at the back of the stage watching us.
Brilliant.
And we came off and Francis Rossi called me over. He said, oh my God, you're just amazing, amazing. I'm going to get you on our Christmas tour. And so, I mean, we just couldn't believe it. We're so happy, you know. And we literally, I went out on stage to all men in denim, right? All men down the front like that, their arms folded. And then we just took the roof off every night.
Wonderful.
And
how many dates was it all together on that first time?
It was only about 6 or 6, you know.
Doesn't matter, because it's probably the numbers that you played to in 6 dates would have been as many as you'd arguably played with in front of for the whole previous rest of the year.
And again, they said we want to get you on our original lineup thing and play at Hammersmith's, which I'd never paid Hammersmith.
No.
But then the big company steps in and says, no, we're going to put name acts on them. So that was it.
I know, it's so annoying.
It was gutting, it was.
Well, it is gutting, but at least you know you had a taste of it.
Oh,
like I said,
wonderful.
you got to play at Old Trafford.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
And was that, without going into the machinations of these things completely, was it financially worthwhile, or was it more to do with just the profile and the experience?
Completely the profile.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a joke, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's all that. I mean, I don't know, 15,000 people a night, arguably.
Arguably, yeah.
And they can't even stretch to pay you at least a couple of £100 each.
I mean, a joke. Not even.
I know.
It was really like, what?
I don't know where these people get off on that. I really don't understand it. But it's called the music business, and that's the problem. You know, they're all about. It's all about them. You know, it's protecting their brand and keeping them. They say, listen, they ain't come to see you, mate. They've come to see this lot, which is fair comment, I suppose. But
yeah, it's not the band. It's not the band.
No, it never is.
To do with the
you get past all of the people, and the band are just fine.
The
they
promoters.
Don't even know what's going on half the time. Don't talk to me about promoters. You know, I can't even get arrested these days. But never mind. I'm going to go on one of these marches. I might get arrested then. So, what's the albums you've done?
Yes.
Now, there's one in particular that I was very impressed with, where the guys from Thunder were quite involved with that. And there was the previous one. But you've done others as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
How many have you done altogether now?
7 altogether. And, you know, we've done mini things as well, and we've got tracks on albums in Japan and things.
Oh, wonderful.
They did a lot of work.
You going to put on an anthology or a best of or something like that, maybe?
Well, it's our 40th anniversary next year, and that's what we're planning.
Yeah,
yes.
Good idea.
2026. So we're going to do that and sort of... get that out there. Probably put about 20 tracks on it.
Brilliant.
You know,
it's a great idea. And what you should do as well, which I teach your grandmother to suck eggs. You need to get, because when that comes out, I brought a best of out in 2015 and called Man Out of Time. And what I found was that you get more interviews when you're bringing out a best of than you do on anything else.
Okay.
You know, because people want to know about your career, about your life, like we are today. You know?
Yeah.
But these will get to. Lots of people, they'll play specific tracks, and it's a great way to sell your music.
Yes.
Keep your profile up.
Definitely.
And celebrate what you've done, which is those 3 things are really important, you know. And rightly so in you guys' case, because it's in you in particular. So you've got 40 years coming up, Val, which must have felt like it's flown by.
Well, yeah, it has. If it wasn't for my big kids, I would think, oh God, it's like yesterday. But of course, we've lived that as well. Them growing up. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, you've got to balance that up. I mean, what's the priority?
Yeah,
yes, music
exactly right.
Yes, it's your bread and butter, and it's your calling. But children are always going to make it second place, and that goes without saying for anybody that does it. That goes. That's natural. But it's great that they're both involved in the creative industries.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a really good thing to have. Now, before I go, as you know only too well, we like to do a little tune together.
Okay.
So, we have discussed this earlier on, people, and Val does a song that so many women love, because she sings it beautifully, and I'm going to sing it with her and ruin it, so as a duet. So if Val wants to, because I don't play the guitar, I never have done. Well, I know about 3 chords, and I can't even play them very well. So while Val's getting the guitar, I'll do my usual, what I call housekeeping.
I'm going to step over the door.
Don't you worry. This channel will only really work if we get people subscribing to it. So please subscribe to Paul Cox channel on YouTube. You'll see the name. Comment on any of the videos we've done, and because interaction's everything, and your feedback is very important to all of us, not just me, but for the people who are involved in the shows we're doing. And this is a brand new venture for me. I mean, I've done about 10 now, and I've got another one to do tomorrow with another friend of mine who lives just down the road, strangely enough. And so, you know, I'm going to keep pumping these out, but they're only going to work if they're supported. And, you know, it's great artists like Val doing them and, you know, wanting to do them that's making it work. So thank you, Val, for doing this for us. It's beautiful.
Absolute pleasure. I enjoyed it.
So we're going to do a song together before we go. I'll let Val start it and then I'll come in on the second verse. And we'll say goodbye after we've done it. I think you might know the song. Thank you.
Something told me it was over. When I saw you and her walking, something deep down in my soul said, cry, girl, yeah. When I saw you and her talking,
I'd rather go blind, child, than to see you walk away from me. From the reflection in the glass, I held on my lips now, babe. Revealed the tears I had on my face, child. I was just sitting here thinking of your kisses and your warm embrace, child. So I said,
yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, oh, about your kiss and your warm embrace. And the reflection in the glass that I held to my lips, oh yeah, showed the tears that were rolling down my face. Whoa, yes they were, yeah.
'Cause I'd rather go blind, child, than to see you walk away from me. I would rather go blind, child, than to see you walk away from me, child. Ladies and gentlemen, Val Cowell one more time. God bless you, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you on the next one, people. Take care, look after yourselves, and thank you all very much.